Now, we have to be innovative and very creative. So, and we have to identify why people come to school. I sent my child to school very early, and somebody said he's too young. I said, don't worry. I know why I'm sending him to school. So why do you go to school? If you don't know so, there's a problem when teaching them. Some people come to school for ego. Some come to school to hang certificate. You must understand. So why do people go to school? The answer is there. I want you to give me your own. Why do you think those children come to your school? Some their parents force them. Like they force them to the university, and there's nothing we can do. We'll teach them like that. I will say something that is the pain of all that you are struggling with. Why? But let me not take your time because we don't have much. Number one, to socialize. If you don't have a maid at home, you send that child to school to go and learn how to do what? Play. That's all. So when teachers pack assignment and give, I collect, put it back in the bag, send the child back to school the next morning. Because they didn't ask him to go and count anything. Number two, to make friends. He will come back. Daddy, my friend is a cannabis. Is that enough? That's the reason she wakes up and goes to school in the morning. And you tell him, don't go to school. There's problem. He can just go and fall in love with the name of the school. Have you witnessed that before? Yes. And you tell him, I want to change school. Oh, mommy, I don't want to leave my school. Or you ask why. Like my son told me, life, vision, international. That is the only thing that's good. I said, okay, continue now. All right. To listen to teachers, they may fall in love with their teacher. Just say, I love my teacher. And you tell him, do from, he said, my teacher said. Am I communicating now? Yes. All right. To walk through problems. When you do the first, the second, the third, you'll be able to do what? Solve problems. In the process of education and learning. Not in the process of schooling. What we do most in Nigeria is schooling. That's why you can have a child. My daughter came back in a new school, we turned back to 11 or 19. And I sat on the floor and said, how are you going to study 19 subjects? When all the subjects are divided into 3, maths, English, and integrated science is over. Maybe if you take the socials, that's okay. So why are you doing computer? And data processing, marketing, accounting, civil. Okay. I secondary school level. How did we get there? How? Because the students are not coordinating. All right, let's run along. See, the ability to walk through problems is the bottom line. And every successful businessman, every successful teacher, every successful person must have the capacity to what? Solve problems. So that's why you did not vote in him, isn't it? Because you believe he has run out his capacity to do what? Everybody followed him, but did you win? You must get to that level of understanding. So, learning these skills provides what? The foundation. If a child is happy with the environment, creativity is born. We'll see it as we go along. And I ask them, who is a teacher? If you understand all of this big, who then should a teacher be? Quickly, I want us to run. He should be a leader. I listen to you talk about him. Is he a leader? Are people emulating him? Struggling to follow him? He must be a change agent. So when I see the teachers of my children, and my children don't run onto them, something is wrong. There's something wrong. If your student sees you on the road and he doesn't run to greet you, something is wrong. You have failed to impact that child. It must be a behavior modifier. I see them. Mad men. If you know University of Ibadan, our own University of you see them, isn't it? Men braiding hair, women going naked. I have one who has refused right from year 1 the day the father brought. She has refused to wear any undies, top to bottom. We just call her princess, angel, Sijo. So it's always hot. be castigating her. I said, leave her alone. Until you are able to manage her. There is something wrong. The education at home was not given. Therefore, you can't force it on her. Somebody needs to pick her up and give her that behavioral modification. It's not going to be by force because she's hardened already. What she knows, you don't know. And therefore, you behave like the moron to wear her shoes and then be able to do what? Help. A teacher should be a transmitter of what? Knowledge. I put the other one, it should be what? A God and a model. I tell you, Jesus was what? A model. He's a rabbi. So, and he must use it properly. The bane of our system is some of the poor teaching attitudes. And the poor teaching attitudes are influenced by the environment. Teacher giving a kind idea, we also want it's hungry till we're hungry. And nobody seems to understand, isn't it? And every day you go to that class and talk. When it is time to pay your allowance, they say the governor has been magnanimous. And I told them, in my own salary, you are magnanimous. Okay? So, but when you acquire the right attitude, and you are able to give them the truth in love, you will secure the message. You get the child back. I had a child, university, Arit, mention her name. She has graduated, big girl now in Shell. She walks into the class in year 1, she sleeps. I was the supervisor of that class. They came and announced, this girl, she goes to Tutumbong every day, comes to class to sleep. I said, Tom, how can you draw such a blanket judgment on a child you don't even know? And I asked the teacher, where is he from? He said, so why do you draw that conclusion? Thank God, we were teaching that class 12 hours. He finished his part, I went. It was mathematics. In that class, grabbed all my jokes, she was sleeping. Just walked up. Held her like this till I finished the class. She stayed awake. At the end of the class, I called her, what is wrong? Why do you sleep in the class? I walked home, wanted to turn around, someone was crying. I said, don't be angry. You have embarrassed you. He said, no, let's go to his office. You know, we arrived at the office. The story was touching. He says, at the day I got admission, was the day my mother became a stroke patient. She had just been moved from the emergency. So I have to go take care of her before I come to school. I go to the village, right down Noron, prepare food, come in the afternoon, stay 3-4 days and go back. Does that not deserve pity? And I now looked at her, I wept with her too, because if you go to emergency, you understand where the caregivers sleep, isn't it? Yeah. And she wakes up from there, has the courage to come to school, sit down in her predicament, and nobody appreciates her. So me, I told her, see, I'm not a pastor, but there is something I know. As a teacher, you can pray. And I asked her, how do you pray? She said, I want God to heal my mother. I said, no, that's not how I pray my own. Because it is not God's choice to heal your mother. He says, I pray. It's okay. God, let the will, your will, for this girl's mother be done. Quick. In Jesus' name. He says, is that all? I said, come now, the man at home. I'm going here. 2 weeks after the woman died. Hello? And she came crying to the office. They said, what is it? I said, God has answered our prayer. Kneel down again. Let us thank him. What she did was exactly what you did. She smiled. She smiled. I said, I will pay my fees. I said, why are you asking me? Ask him who will pay your fees. And he will never fail you. He says, are you saying so? Say yes. We buried the mother in 4 days. So come back to school. It was then I realized that she can speak English. Well, like this woman. And I was running a student influencer press program. I said, you see this proposal we are going to do in MTN? We are going to present it. He says, I'm not presenting. I said, your English is superb. We'll get it done. We prepared her when Lagos. The university paid her. You know, when God wants to work for you, she painted her fingernails with yellow and blue. And that's what I asked her. Have you been doing painting? He said, no. I just like it. I do it my book. We went. At Lagos, she was presenting, talking and putting her finger like this. Clean presentation. The woman led this thing and was looking at the finger. I was now saying, at the back, oh God, this man was upset with his fingernail. Why is she staring at the fingernail and leaving? He said, the presentation, my girl, you nailed it from the first time. I wasn't listening to it again, but I want to ask you, sir, who is she? I said, she's like a daughter to me. He said, okay. Are you doing any training for anything? He said, no, I'm gifted. I was like, can you paint? He said, I painted myself. She got a job right there. 800,000 naira to paint fingernails. Creativity is key. We left her in Lagos. But when we got back to the room, I asked her a question. Alright, she said, yes, are you happy? She said, I'm very happy. Is the money enough to pay your school fees? That's when she broke down in tears. I said, if your mother were to be alive in that hospital, would you have been in this Lagos? I wouldn't have even found out. So God works through teachers. So when I heard that your slogan,
teachers are great.
Alright, so if you deliver it well, you create agents that will change the world. If you don't, you create deviants, you create monsters, you create low graders. No child is labeled low grader. Each and every one of us have our own strength. In our own strength we shine. Find the young man's strength and let him do what? Shine. Alright? So, the consequences when the teacher fails is why I'm always here as a teacher. When you think that child is too bad, too bad, and you push him off, will you stand? Will you stand? No. If that man falls off on the other balance, will the teacher stand? So creativity extends learning. It extends learning. It guarantees that the growth of the learner is solidly around where you want it to be. Solidly around that area. Because at that point, when they ask, when you were doing this, I quickly asked, where would this fit in? Where would this simple machine fit in? In a typical poultry farm. I will show you where we don't pick eggs by hand anymore. We rear snails. Snails lay over 8,000 eggs in a day. Snail. We went to Israel to see snail farm. This hotel is very small now. Snail farm background with fully ammunition. You see snail egg moving, being packed into incubators. That's when I saw this machine. When the snail lay the egg, it rolls, begins to fall off, and there's another container. As it falls off, it enters, so that the second egg will not jam the first one, and it continues into a basket, when it is filled, somebody carries it, covers it with heat, moves it into the next incubator. In 48 hours, it hatches. Now you see the beauty of technology. Creativity. How did they do that? They duplicated the snail habitat. The snail habitat is always what? Dark. They go 247 in the night. And it is very easy to rear her. But our enemies are ants. And several other things. Let us not go there. Alright. Now the 21st century is a century where a child tells you what he wants to become. Hello? You can't force him to be a doctor. No. I want my child to be a doctor. You are completely wrong. I want her to leave the house in this state. An Akpanuko child is the second best Android developer. He wrote Jam last 2 years. I don't know whether Victor passed that Jam. I don't know whether he passed. He's a child way. Another way. You help him to become who he was meant to. Have you heard of Charles Oputa?
Yes.
The only child of the father was a lawyer. And the lawyer says, my son must be what? To take over my fame. Charlie Boy became a deacon. Found his way into his God-given talent, music, and excelled. But he excelled as what? A giver, because nobody encouraged him to mount the stage. He must sniff. Because he doesn't see the encouragement from parents as it ought to be. My child, go. But remember that Michael Jackson was alive with the parents and they took him to every show. They gave him that encouragement. He never went to school. When we say school, university. So it is in this age that you have complex technologies, information explosion, cognitive revolution, intentional partnership, final resources that you have today through. What do you call it? Okay. It's partnering with who? Somebody is working that partnership. Somebody who is gifted. He may not be a doctor, may not be an engineer, but is gifted in connecting one person to another and is thinkingly rich. Now, infrastructure work, career long learning. What do you want? When you finish as a teacher, what will you do? And so on and so forth. It is that age. Because I saw a parent brought a child and told me, Morning, give her any course. And the child was shaking. And I said, okay, so what course you want her to read? He said, accounting. I said, with this score, she can't read accounting. The only course we can put her is actual science, insurance, and there is a lot of mathematics there. The girl was shaking it. And when the father looked at I realized there's a problem. So I took over. I said, okay, so if you want admission for her in insurance, I'll give you. But I don't know why you hate her so much. To say, let her leave the house to do anything. Somebody must leave the house to do something. Not anything. When we began the journey, school fees was paid. Year 1, GST, everything. Score 1.6. End of year 1 first semester, now order. Ephraim 1.6. 7.6. Half a year, 7. You pass only 5. They 2. You see again. I don't understand what they teach that class, and I don't like that subject. Okay, what do you want to read? Music. Help. How do I convince a parent who wanted a child to be a professional accountant to move from accounting to music? Like in my madness, I gave her 7.5 go buy jam form, and I said if I do that, I can classify her to continue. Not knowing that she has made up her mind. When the next admission came, he came with an admission letter. Daddy, I got an admission into music. Without my help. Without me pursuing it, going from one office to the other. And I said, you didn't tell me that you went ahead on this thing. Okay, what am I going to tell your father? He said, I need acceptance. Whatever you want to go and tell you, I'll tell you. I paid the acceptance fee, we started. You know the problem will now come. Year 3 in music should have been final year in insurance. What would I tell the father? To collect additional school fees. To go and say she failed, but God worked wonders because He wanted to find herself. She was the best in violin. If you have listened to jazz and Yanni, then you see violin and walk. But that day invited the father. Come on. Through his extracurricular activities happening in music department. And the father came. Sheepishly at the front seat. And when the young daughter image was doing violin, I saw somebody stand up to clap. I said, God, you have answered me. I'm going to get reforms. No. The young child is in the US today. She was picked up during COVID-19. Paid for everything. If she was married, they would have paid for the husband and everything. I called the father and said, $send me the dollars. That's the I am now enjoying. I said, would you have enjoyed if she had bowed out in insurance with a class and come home to sit down? I want work. So help the child to fly. Because educators must help me to understand how I fit, to build skills so I can contribute and thrive in this rapidly changing world. That is what they want. So they can have their dreams. So how can you help? In terms of all of this, how can you help? It's very simple. I'm going to provide answers. Because who will fail to provide answers, they will say, adulthood, nah, scam. Yes. Because we failed. So they came to see what we prepared them to take over, not being a real thing. Because you told the child, when you go to school, become a medical doctor, you'll be employed. Medical doctors don't have jobs anymore. They don't have jobs. I didn't prepare for that. I would have shown you. I went to teach entrepreneurship for medical students. They didn't turn up. And I told them you don't have jobs. The next day, I did my widow test, did my typhoid test, saved them on my system, went to their class and told them, give me 10 minutes only. Log on to Google. I need a doctor. A doctor popped up. What is wrong with you? Oh, I can see. From your DOI, you are in Nigeria. You are Nigerian, right? You are in Africa, right? Are you living in? I said, it could be mosquito. I know the usual things you do there. Widow test, and if you do malaria test, I will know. Take the temperatures. Do you have a wristwatch that can give me your temperature? Immediately, no wristwatches. I told him, what is that? See my widow test, I posted. He gave me prescription immediately. And I told him, why should I come to your clinic? And someone did that. So I will come and wait for you to wake up and sell car for me. And they tell the doctor on call, is still sleeping. For what? And the general asked, how are they making money? I said, that's what they should ask them to come to class and learn how doctors are making money. That's the essence of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not for a medical doctor to go and learn how to sew. We get it all wrong. Say again, entrepreneurship is helping the medical doctor to be able to provide what? Additional what? Solutions. Within this area. My little sister suffered for all sickness. They did hepatitis B. They did almost all. So when I asked her, what is wrong with you? He said, brother, I don't know. I said, okay, give me your symptoms. We began to filter the symptoms on the net, one by one. I bought drugs from Algeron, 1,500 for her. And that was the cure. Because she was having duodenal ulcer. That was the first time I heard of that one. Via internet. When we fulfill the symptoms one by one, they dash it out, reduce it to where we can have, and they just prescribe the drugs. I went to bought it. I went, sister, if you take it and it is good. When the next morning by 6 a.m., somebody was at my door. What did you give me? I was even afraid. I said, I'm well. I ate last night and I slept. What was wrong with me? I said, the doctors on the net says what? You did not He said, I'm going to collect my money. I said, go and collect your tests. For you to survive in medicine now, you must be specialized. Spinal cord, brain, the type that can open this eyeball and fix it again and close it. Those are the ones that are needed now. So you must tell them, because when we fail to provide them, our generation will come back and ask us, what did you do for me? And they'll ask you most importantly, the teachers.